He is doing outstanding things. He's got his own website now, and he's got a book which he's selling for the cost of 1 Guinness. So if anyone would like to buy Jack's book and get him drunk at the same time, it'll cost you £1 of Guinness. Welcome to the stage, everyone, Jack Pascoe.
Oi, oi! Let the rage out on the cage, the clubs are closing down. The rate was punks and all the drugs are wandering the town. There's such a thrill, big glasses spill, there will be blood tonight. He's feeling fab, he's like a kebab, ding ding, round one, now fight. There's town of despair, his spit fills the air, tip top of the world and he don't care. What can you do, he ain't happy with you, staggering along the avenue. He stands on the corner, calls for a cab, but ethnic drivers make him mad. And fuck it, he's glad he's a nightlife crawler. When he's in the mood, he's a backstreet brawler. He can take down man or beast. His jeans are battered and his shirt is creased. His rotten breath just spills out hate. He's bold and he's born and he can't see straight. He follows the floor free, knocks on the door, doing anything he can to escape the chase. Tomorrow @10 he'll do it again. He's a nightlife crawler. He's a fucking disgrace. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Have we swapped the mic around?
I think they did.
It's not banging anymore. Oh, struck a luck. Right, this one is about a geezer I met up in Shepherd's Bush Market flogging stuff out of a suitcase, and it's called Tricky Mickey. Mickey is a geezer with suitcases galore, with the kind of stuff you find inside your nan's utility drawer, like a pair of garden shears that ain't been used in years, a slightly rusty door handle, and cotton buds for your ears. He flogs them down the market to tourists and the like. He's Mickey to his mates, but to the fuzz, he's known as Mike. The corner is his office, where he yells out all day long. 70s mixtapes, 5 for a tenner, get them before they're gone. He always plans a getaway, and he never pays his tax. He's selling knockoff Nike t-shirts, because he's got them at home in stacks. If one product ain't shifting, he'll just go and knit some more. Because that geezer Mickey, he's a little bit tricky, he can open up every door. He's got a tongue to cut the butter, and the manner of a gent, with a rip-off sheepskin jacket that was 20 quid well spent. He flicks his bag by a petrol tanker, and he doesn't seem to care, as he sells a dodgy kitchen appliance to a posh bloke fair and square. The posh bloke goes back to his mansion, plugs the appliance in, and from sparks of electricity a fire will begin, consuming the wooden furniture that was beautifully polished and sanded. Now Mickey's made a rich man homeless, and he did it single-handed. He's stinking of cheap whiskey, with big holes in his socks, selling black tracksuits, Doc Martin boots and polka dotty frocks, some perfume from the continent and books that have no spine. That cheeky sod Mickey, he's a little bit tricky and a clever little swine. He can con the keys, wallet and watch of almost anyone. He gambles with a penny and he leaves with half a ton. He's loving in his nature and also full of charm. You'd never think while playing he had a full deck up his arm, so he can con the constantly cocky and rob the righteous rich and get blood pressure pumping until they all reach fever pitch. He drinks just like a sailor, he smokes just like a trooper, and at the end of the day he drives away in his run-down Mini Cooper. So the next time you're down the market and you fancy a dodgy find and a little bit of bartering, Mickey doesn't seem to mind. He's got a kettle that never boils and a budgie that can't fly. That geezer Mickey, he's a little bit tricky and he's gone in the blink of an eye. Right, next one is about, well, many people can relate to me on this one probably. It's about the school slapper, and it's called Ode to a Slapper. You wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror. There isn't any way that you can get any thinner. You've had salad for lunch and you eat nothing for dinner. Blatantly plain to see from head to toe you're a sinner. You'll never get a good man because you're too fucking easy. They only talk to you because you're a good 36D. Your makeup is excessive and your clothes are sleazy. One day there's plenty of the fish in the sea, but you're greedy. You used to hang around the bike shed smoking menthol. You weigh your head on sexual tips and you're mental. Just sit and flirt around with the boys on the corner. You give away your body and that's why they adore you. Your mother never taught you how to have any standards. You dosed up perfume and you've got no manners. I see you at the pub, you're showing off all your cleavage. You're acting like a slapper, you're no better than sewage. Have a couple shots of vodka and a couple of these, and then you're anybody's. You're just like one of those red light chicks who can't get enough dicks. I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot build a scaffolding pole. Why don't you go and find a soul? Then I might consider looking at you, because right now I really don't want to. You're always on the prowl for a bit of the action. Too busy to vote at the last election. You've always had a dream to be a queen of the scrubbers. You're rushing to the clinic because you've run out of robbers. You had your first baby when you were a teenager. You didn't know the dad, you might as well be a stranger. In hospital you were always a bitch to the nurses, stealing all the pounds from the patients' purses. You wake up in the morning, have your toast with some clover. You call your last fella just to tell him it's over. Your sheets are more white than the cliffs of Dover. One day you're going to fuck yourself into a coma, and no one will be there to comfort you at your bedside, but you will probably shrug and take it all within your stride. You've had more men than a water theme park ride. Now when they see you come in, they just run and then they hide. You've got a reputation just for being a slag with some Lamborghini and a fag, so you better take a look at yourself and leave your hang-ups on the shelf. Don't you know the risk that you take? You better do it for your own sake. Then maybe one day that little penny will drop and all your messing will have to stop. Very much. Right, now I'll try and do a bit of audience participation. Sorry? Oh, right. Right, this one is basically a bit of audience participation. And right, what I want you to do, when I raise my arm like this, I want you all to, like, you know, make a noise like a biggest, scariest monster you've ever seen in your life, like, can you do that for me? Yeah, nicely. Right, just want to raise my arm like that, okay? This is called the Big Society. When your town is sleeping peacefully and the people are all sound, there's food to fill the cupboards and no inflation on the pound. When you think that there's a heaven and that you've always got a friend, don't be so sure of what you think, because there's trouble around the bend. It's lurking in the parliament, it's creeping in the streets, and it's making sure that you get poor and your family never eats. It's filtered through the radio and plugged on the TV. Lock up your wives and run for your lives. It's the Big Society. With its tentacles and big sharp teeth and socially crippling ways, it takes CVs from the searchers and then leaves them there for days. It chews up all the services and cuts back on the jobs. Give riches to the kings and more bills to the slobs. It builds up high-rise yuppie flats and tears down council dwellings, then dresses itself up as a movement and thinks it's so compelling. It stabs the public sector and it cuts the BBC. Keep a watchful eye on your wallet close by. It's the Big Society. It's crawling through the job centre and through the prison bars. Get ready for higher insurance rates and taxes on your cars. It creeps behind the bin men and rummages through their pockets. And when students read about their fees, their eyes pop out of their sockets. It stops to Mr. Moneybags and puts an extension on his home. And puts 5 million aside for his wife for necklaces alone. And it has them saying, marvellous, that's as fair as we can be. Get the kids in bed, that settles my head. It's the Big Society. It divides the town into rich and poor and makes them go berserk. Alienation is its job for the day and it's doing some damn good work. It messes up our politics and it cuts back on our schools. Turns rich men into millionaires and idiots into fools. It leaves the place in ruin with a blood stain on its fang. And whoever opposes this monster today shall be the one to hang. The country's going to hell, it seems, and we ain't going to get there for free. So I'm fucking off to France because we ain't got a chance. It's the Big Society. Thank you very much.